Did I already hit go live? Oh, I did. Whoops. Well, I'm gonna play something. I'm gonna play some things. All right, I figured out what I'm missing as far as stabs. And I know what we must do. We just gotta beat the freaking Bishui beast. We gotta beat the bull. You mess with the bull, you get the horns. I'm gonna play something. What's up, Chuck Danger? So I saw an extravaganza clips yesterday. Jake and Andrew played the clip of Jesse talking to Kanye. And Andrew was roasting Jesse. And somebody in the comments was like, a lot of people were coming. I mean, I don't think JLP needs anybody to come to his defenses, but a lot of people were coming to JLP's defense in the chat or in the comments. And somebody said, "Oh, you shouldn't say this stuff until you sit down and actually have a conversation with him, Andrew." And I was like, they have sat down and had a conversation like 3 years ago. So I'm going to play the conversation they had 3 years ago. And I think it's an interesting contrast between Andrew then versus Andrew now. Because it's probably two of my most watched people that I watch on YouTube. And yeah, I think I don't know. I think well, I don't know. I'll tell you what I think after we play the second clip. But this first clip, they have a good conversation. They have a good chat. It's not on the Fallen State. I think he was just a guest on the morning show. But it's an interesting little combo they have here. Just look at the contrast between Andrew then and Andrew now. And see what you think. But we'll watch this. I need to find this bull in chapter 5. I think we're pretty close to him.
So-called Christian in government and in our churches, in different churches, who are just doing a song and a dance, but they have no power, they have no authority, they have no love, and as a result, we're losing the country. Christians are pathetic. Christians are some of the most pathetic people I've ever seen in my whole life. Growing up, I never imagined that Christians would become so weak, because Christians in the good old days were boys and men were men. They had no fear because they had love, the love of God. And they understood the order of God. They understood that men need to lead the way, and they would get involved in government. I remember Jerry Falwell and all those guys, they used to fight for the country. They got involved in the fight. And they were not afraid of the name calling or the rumors and things like that. So they fought back. But when they expired, all that disappeared. And now we only have so-called Christian in government and in our churches, in different churches, who are just doing a song and a dance, but they have no power, they have no authority, they have no love. And as a result, we're losing the country. Christians are pathetic. Because if they were not, America would be, it would be amazing today. It would be better than 100 years ago or whatever, right? Because the power come from God. And because the devil has no power, he has fear and doubt and worry. And so the Christians today have allowed the secular world to take over the churches. Women are becoming preachers and pastors and priests and all that crap.
Oh, we got the
The
gourd.
Christian world is acting just like the secular world because
We got the gourd achievement, so we now have all the gourds. So I just need a brew, I think. Staff armor brew. And then completing every other achievement. That'll be 5. And once we beat that bull, we'll have the staff and the armor. And then I got to figure out the last brew I need. And then we'll get the other achievement. That'll be 80 out of 81. And then there's a hidden achievement. I don't know what it is because it's hidden. I'm gonna have to find a list online. It's gonna have something to do with the challenges, I think. But anyway, about this video. So this is 3 years ago now. Jesse's old. He's like 76. He's fallen out twice on camera. Like once on his show, he went out at the desk. Once at his church, he fell out. So he's getting old. But he's always had the same message for 30 years. He's been saying the same thing. And people will always compare it to Eastern stuff. And when they say that, I'm like, you realize the Bible was written in the East. The Bible wasn't written in America. Like, it's not a Western. Christianity is not a Western idea. So I think it's dumb when people say, well, this seems like Eastern and when Jesse talks about prayer, this seems like some Eastern meditation.
Hide your secret wish from me.
Why do you think that is?
You wish you could rule
But
this mountain with your brother.
we'll see more of that in the second thing. Hold on, let me let this cutscene play.
That is not true, Mother.
Unless I can skip it.
If that were my wish,
I can
why
skip
would I
it.
bring this mask?
We've already seen this.
Quick on your heels, huh?
1 second.
Well then, boy, let us teach this brazen adulterer a lesson.
Vile beast! Your savagery knows no cure.
The yin yang.
Behave once my sourceless water from Tushita drops.
No, I probably won't. The yin yang man.
I've aided your journey once. Now I shall aid you again on your way to death.
All right, let me get it playing again.
because they truly don't believe in God. They just have a false image.
Oh, and by the way, either I read the thing wrong or the date of the debate changed. I thought Andrew was debating Captain Tazariak tonight, and I wanted to watch that. But when I woke up at like 5 and I was going to start streaming and watch it, the date has changed, or I just read it wrong. I don't know if the date changed or I'm just crazy and I thought it said today, but it was actually not today. I'm not sure. But anyway, back to this.
Of themselves about God, but they don't know him.
Well, if we look back just over the last 30, 40 years, we can see these different gospels that came into play, like the prosperity gospel and this kind of thing, that really preached about materialism rather than about faith in God and, self-sacrifice towards things like your family and your community. It was more of a ask God what you want and he'll give you whatever you want, whatever.
That's important. You hear what Andrew just said. When I play the second clip, Jesse's going to say the exact same thing. and Andrew's going to criticize him for it. What's up, Bibby? Andrew just said it's about asking God for things and him giving it to you. It's about materialism. Jesse says the same thing to Kanye. And Andrew's like, oh, that's stupid. it doesn't. But because Jesse tells Kanye to do the silent prayer, he says, oh, so it's guided meditation? It's Eastern guided meditation now? No, it's go into your prayer closet, be still, and know God. It's what the Bible says. Don't pray with words and vain repetitions like the heathens do. It's in the Bible. But Andrew says, do liturgical prayer. Jesse doesn't know what that means. I don't even know what that means. Liturgical prayer? So I need to pray with the liturgy? Or I need to be taught how to pray by the liturgy? Jesse, I mean, he's technically a reverend, so Andrew on JLP, Jesse black and slow. Exactly, Jesse's black and slow. Well, what I'm doing here, Bibby, is I'm showing the first time they talked 3 years ago compared to a clip that Andrew just put out doing commentary on one of Jesse's clips, and how I have a creeping suspicion where the change comes from. But Andrew used to say Jesse's cool. He likes Jesse. But the second clip that I play, nope, not anymore. And I know why it is, but let's just play this. I haven't seen any of this before. Well, the clip is from yesterday from his other show, but let's just listen to this first.
Where the materialism is, and hasn't Christianity now, modern Christianity, especially along Protestant lines, fallen into this trap of materialism. It's become a very material-based, pray for what you want, and it really has nothing to do with what Christianity is about, which is
that's interesting.
Self-sacrifice.
It's almost like Jesse says the exact same thing.
And in the scriptures, it's clear that we don't need to pray for those things. God will take care of us. He said, take no thoughts about what you're going to wear, what you're going to eat, where you're going to live. I'll take care of those things.
Take no thought of tomorrow.
But you're right. These preachers, prosperity preachers, as you say, have been teaching materialism and how to ask God for a truck, for a car, for a house, for a wife, for a husband.
A husband.
Gimme.
Yeah.
Gimme.
Yeah. And it's just weakening them. It's taking them away from that straight and narrow path themselves, to know thyself, so that they can see the right way to go, because you're not supposed to have another physical leader anyway. God should only be your leader, to love him with all your heart, all your soul, all your might, along with nothing else.
Now, Andrew doesn't say anything
yourself,
to correct him
more
here.
than you love your children, your wife.
Because he's right.
Your country or anything. Then he will lead you, and you'll be able to stand and do the right thing, not only for your family, but for your country as well. I've had Christians tell me that you're not supposed to be in government, that Christians are not supposed to participate in government. I'm like, how dumb can you be? That's one of the dumbest things I ever heard of. This country was founded by Christians, right? And our laws of the land came from the scriptures. They came from Christianity. And if you're not involved in government, you're going to get what we have now, the children of the devil running the government, and they're going to fight to destroy the Christians. They're not going to fight to enhance it, the Christians. They're going to fight against them. But Christians are so dumb, they think they're not supposed to get involved in government. I never heard anything like that in my life until I started hearing it over the last few years or so.
Well, it's very subversive, isn't it? As I've been looking into the subversive elements that go into these various church groups, I've actually found on things like LGBTQ groups, for instance, that they'll often go into these large mega ministries and offer them bags full of cash as part of their outreach programs in order to train and assist the various pastors and clergy of these churches in how to deal with LGBTQ patrons, often through affirmations, psychological gobbledygook, and this type of thing. Here's a bag of money for doing it as part of their outreach program. Isn't it complete subversion at this point, Jesse? Has the whole thing just been infiltrated from the inside out?
It really has. It is a mess. And when I compare America to the time that I was growing up, with what's happening now, it's just hard to believe it. I never imagined that one day that LGBTQ mess would take over Christianity. It just didn't seem like it was possible. We knew not to hate, but we knew not to accept a wrong as a right, but not to hate, right? And I never imagined that it would come to this. I never imagined that one day the preacher would be teaching about materialism rather than salvation itself, that we must be born of the Father. And all human beings, male or female, it doesn't matter the color, how rich or poor.
Did you see Beth cry to get Bass Tweaker in trouble with Andrew? I don't know who Beth is. And that Bass Tweaker guy is
Hardly enough for a platter.
Careful, Beth will. I don't know who Beth is. Is Beth that? Yeah, I maybe I know who you're talking about, but I don't really care. Andrew needs to stick to poning OnlyFans thoughts on whatever. Well, no, I think he's a good debater, but it just irritated me. This clip is not the one that irritates me. This clip is based. Oh, hold on. This clip is based, but it's the next clip. It's the next clip where you see a contrast between. This is 3 years ago. This is when Andrew had like, I think at the time he probably had like 10,000 subscribers. And you'll see the contrast between then and now. And I think this is before Andrew was, I think this is before he was even catechumen. But wait till you see the contrast between this and now. Look at the respect. Look at the good conversation. Look how they're agreeing, because what Jesse's saying is common sense and it makes sense. Of course. How are you going to disagree with that? Jesse gave Andrew a platform when he was way smaller. And compared to what we're going to watch after this is over here in like 10 minutes. Those were the days of the Thorpes versus the Wilsons. Yep. I don't know who she is either. It was just a weird thing on Andrew's stream earlier. Is she the lady that always wears the headband? I've seen her on other streams if it's who I'm thinking of. But I also don't really care.
Every person who is born must be born of the Father. They are born of the woman, right? All who are born of the woman are dying, and those who are born of God are living. And so and they used to teach that growing up. We must be born of the Father. But now they're trying to encourage you to be born of the woman. They're saying the woman is fine, nothing wrong with emotions. You should be emotional, you should be this or that. I never imagined that would be taught in a church anywhere. I never imagined that radical Black Lives Matter and others could go to a church and promote what they're doing, and people go, Black Power, Black Lives Matter, all that kind of crap, right? It's the darndest thing I ever seen in my life. I just didn't, when you're growing up, when I was in the good old days, you just didn't walk around thinking well, one day we're just not going to have America. One day the church would be no different than the secular society. One day women are going to take over the churches. You just never imagined that something like that was even possible because people had common sense then. But it's all gone now for the most part. You can find it one or two that's on that straight and narrow, but most people are not. In the church and outside of the church. I never imagined one day that they would destroy the police department, that they would defund the cops, that they would say the cops are the bad guys and the bad guys are the good guys. I just, it doesn't
They took over whole city blocks and declared them sovereign nations. Yes.
Yeah, I know.
Have you ever seen or heard of anything so absurd in your life that you could take over, 13, 14 square blocks, declare it outside the realm of the United States? Isn't that high treason, sedition at least?
Man, it's so insane that you wonder, is everybody on pot?
Everybody on pot.
They're smoking something, man. So I gotta ask you too. As you bring this up, I've often said on this program that the push for transgenderism is truly the fight for objective reality. Never could I have foreseen that people would be fighting over what the nature of a tree was.
Right.
And yet here we are. We're actually fighting over objective reality. What we can see, they're trying to tell us that what we can see with our own eyeballs isn't true. With our own sense data, with our own sense of smell, taste, touch, they're saying that's not real. That's truly 1984 style stuff there, isn't it?
It's great.
Hulkamania still running wild, brother. They're angry because the world taught them to be emotional. Emotions are evil, case in point. Look at all the emotional people still angry with Hulk Hogan over nothing. Yeah, some teacher...
Bad news after a good nap.
Some teacher on the school board, not a teacher, but somebody on a school board. Okay, we don't care about the lore. We've already beat the game. Some person on a school board posted on a message board, who cares about Hulk being dead? Just another dead Trump supporter, or just another dead MAGA, or something like that. And they removed the post, and all the people in the comment section were like, "Oh, what happened to free speech? What happened to free speech? Shut up, bitch." But yeah. What's up, Robert? Yeah, it's the same thing they do with the comedians. Whenever a comedian dies, they'll pull out all their old jokes that were a little too dirty, and they're like, "Oh, they're a PDF file. Look at what's his name? Bob Saget was a PDF file, and so." After they're dead, they attack them, but those people are losers. Joel's apology was gay? Joel's apology was gay. Pretty gay. Joel Friday? Joey Swole, what the? Did you see what Joey Swole. I saw something about that, but I didn't watch it. What'd he say? He said something, and they said he's a racist or something. And then his apology was pretty gay. When a Christian dies, evil works hard to diminish their legacy. Well, I don't know if Bob Saget was a Christian, but yeah, that's true too. But what did Joey Swole say? His apology was gay. I saw a thumbnail of a video, but I didn't watch it. And it was like a comment section, and they're like, "Wow, that's racist." He said something, and they said, "Wow." Basically, they're saying he was racist. What happened? Fill me in. Maybe I'll find it next. Tell me what happened while we finish playing this, because this is almost over. I just want to show the contrast between 3 years ago Andrew and Andrew now in relation to Jesse.
Easy. And if you see it, they don't want you to say what you see. if you're not agreeing with them, they want you to just shut up about it, not even say anything about it. And but what most people might not realize, men are the most hated species on this side
So
of heaven.
funny when he says that,
All
because
this
man is not a species.
LGBTQ, and if you're a boy or a girl,
It's a
only
gender
done
or a
because they
sex.
want to destroy masculinity. They want to destroy the man, and they replace it with junk. What men don't realize is that men are sons of God. They may be weak beta males for now because they have been turned away from their fathers, but men are sons of God. They are the light of the world, and they represent God. And the enemy of God hate that. He hate anything that represents good, represent God. And so if they can take the fathers out of the home, they can degrade and embarrass and weaken the man. They could destroy him, put it out to light. It's about that. That's why men are so under attack. That's why they would rather for you to be a drag queen male, than a real man, because a drag queen man is weak. There's nothing he can do. He's been destroyed already. But it's all about destroying men and replacing it with the image of the devil, right? And so the God above is the man's God,
and the God
and the
below
God
is the
below
woman's
is the
God.
woman's God. And so the hell come through the woman to destroy the children. And it's not, she can't help it. It's not her nature, it's the devil nature that made a home in her. And so women and drag queens and lesbian, they're all being used to destroy the image of God. Why do you think they went after Donald Trump and still going after him so hard? Because Donald Trump was a perfect example of masculinity, and they hated that. They couldn't control him. They couldn't put fear in him. He didn't care what you thought about him or said about him. And men in the good old days were that way. They were not soft, and they were not easily provoked to anger. They didn't care what you thought or said about them. And men today have been trained to be that way. And so this LGBTQ thing, calling yourself a it or that, or if you want to be a male, if you're a male, you can be a woman. You're a
They
woman.
them gang. The they them gang.
It's all about destroying masculinity. It's about destroying men. This whole thing, this whole battle of good and evil is about destroying the image of God that comes through the man. And that's why Christianity is the most hated religion on this side of heaven, because it's a perfect religion of what God is all about. You don't see them trying to destroy Allahu Akbar or any other kind of religion except Christianity, because it truly represents God when you're truly born of God.
Okay, so that's then. Now let me read this real quick. Hulk Hogan was a Christian. Oh, Hulk Hogan was a Christian, yeah. Joey Swole apologized for posting a video of himself dressed as Hulk Hogan while he was doing some reps at the gym. He apologized for honoring Hulk's passing because Hulk is racist. Joey Swole getting roasted by conservatives now. So he dressed like the Hulk to honor Hulk dying. And the lefties came after him and said, that's racist. He's a racist. So he apologized, and now the conservatives are like, you're a beta bitch for apologizing. Dude, you can't win on the internet. Don't cater to these people. I need to get on my laptop. I'll try to find the apology. Joey Swole is huge for a guy who's like 5'6". Okay, now I got to find the other clip. Extravaganza clips. And this is also cool because this is a part of the Kanye thing that I didn't see. This is not the thumbnail from this morning. They changed the thumbnail? Maybe it's on Crucible clips? Or maybe it's on the Crucible? Here it is. This is it.
What you want to do is save hundreds when Liberty Mutual customizes your car insurance.
That's great, but can you ask your friend to stop?
Yeah, there are two different JLP Kanye videos. We watched one like 2 weeks ago. And then this one that they're doing commentary on, I had not seen. Because I didn't watch the full church that day. I used to watch the church every week. Now I don't so much. But but so you just saw that. That was a cordial, good conversation. They agreed. They're laughing together and stuff. Now look at how Andrew reacts to Jesse saying the exact same things to Kanye West. The same things that he and Andrew were just talking about, Jesse says here. Watch. Go ahead.
God is the truth. The truth, you're not God. There's only one God. It's the truth.
We were just having a conversation like this earlier today. Like, just talking about...
Speak right into the mic for me.
We were just having a conversation about this, something similar to this earlier today, just saying, like, the sun is above us. That's the only thing that we can prove. Right now, we're talking about the creation of Christianity and it being legalized in the year 300 AD, and, like...
Well, the sun isn't... I mean, above and below... I think he's talking about the sun in the sky. The sun is above us is the only thing we can prove. I don't know. Maybe he's talking about Jesus. But if he's talking about the sun in the sky, if above and below is relative, sometimes the sun is below us. Unless you think the earth is flat. But unless he's talking about the sun as in Jesus.
And that... All right, this is other subjects that I just don't want to touch on right now. I'm just tired of touching on. So, but what we came to was like that. Just being, it was kind of like being present. About 15 minutes before service started, and he sent me a text, and I was saying, "Oh, maybe I should go to church today." But the general gist of the conversation right before that was about that, just basically being present, and that. All these other things are just opinions.
Absolutely, just opinion, right. Straight out of hell. Do you know God? Ye, your name Ye?
No, it's Ye, short for Kanye.
Oh,
just quickly, do you think that Kanye is an intelligent guy?
No.
Yeah, I don't think he's stupid.
I think he's creatively
he's not intelligent.
Very, very brilliant in terms of the music he's made. I've always been a big fan of him. But his brain seems to work in a very strange and scattered way. But
yeah, he's creatively brilliant, but I wouldn't call him intelligent. Yeah, he's not dumb why? Because he can make good hip hop music. Like, if you ever heard him carry on a conversation with somebody, he's not intelligent. He's not like, he thinks he has 150 IQ or something. No. Kanye thinks he has a super high IQ. He's not a genius.
Anyway,
I think Jake is on the right track here. He's like, yeah, he can make good music videos and songs, but when he talks, sounds kind of dumb.
Well, yeah, he's like when you're talking, to be fair, they're talking about a deep philosophical concept here, the idea of God, right?
This is true.
It's very, very difficult for people to verbalize what these concepts in their brain, to externally verbalize them is difficult to do. And people who are theologians and people who are apologists often take years of refinement so that they can convey these very thoughts. Like here, I'll give you an example, Jake. Can you just explain real quick, right, in 1 minute, the nature of God to me?
God is a timeless, spaceless, immaterial mind that is omnipresent and omnipotent.
That's kind of redundant.
Is also the creator of all things and whose ontology is reflected in the world.
His ontology is reflected in the world.
Yes.
What does that mean?
What does that mean?
It means the nature or the essence of God is actually the fundamental reality of the world, or like the optimal reality of the world.
I don't know. You're stumbling over your words already, Jake. Right. The concepts, when you're talking about these, you've watched how many religious debates?
Hundreds, thousands.
Hundreds, thousands, things like this. And even then conveying the message of the nature of God, right? Even if you have it roped in your head, it's not so easy to do. So I'm going to give a little grace here when Kanye's talking about this idea of something greater than him, and that the only thing that he can prove or demonstrate is that the only thing that he could ever see is that the sun rises in the day, and that's about it. He's trying to convey a greater concept than himself, and that's not easy for people to do.
Yeah.
It was like a nickname, and
you keep changing. I can't keep up with it. But
I know I'm here now.
Right. Your body is here. But what does that have to do with God?
He has me here right now.
That's for sure. But do you know him?
See what I mean?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah, see,
When
again,
you say it like this, it like makes Kanye look like the really smart one here.
he is the smart one here. So when you're talking about something which is revelatory, right?
How is Kanye the smart one here for honestly answering a tough question? Jesse asked this question because he knows it's a tough question. He says, do you know God? Or do you just know about God? And the answer, a lot of people, if they're honest, is no, I don't really know God. I just know about God. And Jesse's saying, do you know God? Do you have a interpersonal relationship with God in your heart? Do you know him? Do you walk with him? Do you know? It's a deep question. And I don't like how they kind of start dogging on Jesse here. He's an old guy and he speaks this way. He's black and slow. He doesn't talk like the Orthodox, like the Ortho bros talk. It's not all hypostatic unions and ontologies and transcendentals and things like that. Jesse doesn't know what any of that means. Jesse just says, do you know God? It's a very simple question, but it's deep.
Peterson, that long pause, it's all designed like there's a revelation going on here, like Kanye is finally coming to something. But Kanye's right back to the same place he started. I'm not sure, right?
Good,
He's
that's the
looking
point.
for whatever this meaning is. What is the meaning of what it is that you're asking me here? You know what I mean?
Jesse's not doing a gotcha. And he hasn't figured out some complex, like way to trip up Kanye. He's not doing that. He's just asking him a simple question to make him think about it. To make him say, do I know God? Do you know God? They're like, I don't know. They kind of like attribute something to Jesse that I don't think is there.
Still not sure. I'm not sure. Well, then you don't. Well, I'm not sure about that either. Well, then you must. Well, I'm not sure about that.
He doesn't say you
know
must.
what I mean?
Why
We're
are you
not
putting words
getting
in his
anywhere
mouth?
Here, it's this sort of Protestant Jedi mind trick.
And there it is.
So
there it
criticized
is.
for being so blunt when it comes to Christian ethics.
No, Jesse gets criticized for being blunt. Jesse is the most blunt. Jesse is the savage. Jesse is the OG savage.
Criticized for not being nice, not being.
Jesse was doing this for when Andrew was a 10-year-old child. Jesse was doing this. Jesse was a savage. He's actually gotten a lot kinder and a lot softer in his older age. Jesse got childlike innocence. Yeah. He's not like this is not a Jedi mind trick that he's playing. He's being genuine. And he's been doing this for 30 years. dang, probably 35 years now. The most rage quits. Yeah. Jesse has had more people walk off his show than anybody else. Jesse is the most brutal. More so than Andrew. Andrew's brutal to girls on whatever, and yeah, you know. But, and he's a brutal debater. I get it. You know, I like Andrew. I'm just saying, Jesse is not, I don't know why they're like attributing like this. And what it comes down to is Andrew is now full on Orthodox. 3 years ago, he wasn't there yet. Now he's there. And now it's the evil Protestant. The evil Protestant is playing mind tricks. And he just said it.
Kind enough, this type of thing. But one thing you won't get from me is this kind of ever. You'll never get this kind of from me.
Kanye?
You'll just get a bunch of who's the one doing mind tricks
on the show? And
no, you just get a bunch of words that often don't mean anything just to trip up your opponent in a debate.
I've had so many. This is the whole thing. I asked my wife this yesterday. I said, I just started asking questions about how Christianity was made, and then we were talking about astrology.
And also, when you listen to the full church service with Kanye, you can tell that what Jesse says to him has a profound effect on him. That it gets Kanye thinking in a way that he's never thought before. He says it. He's like, man, I've never thought about it this way, and I like this. I like the way you're talking. Nobody else talks this way. And this is... Andrew, he can win a debate. He can destroy people in debates. But Andrew could not reach Kanye the way that Jesse reaches him in this church service. Jesse has a way of reaching into your soul and like really stirring something and like making you wake up and be like, huh, I never thought about it like that. JLP started Bond 35 years ago. Jesse is about zero BS. Yeah, Jesse's not going to play the debate games and the debate tactics and the debate strategies. Jesse just cuts through the bullcrap and gets to the heart of the issue. You have anger. You have resentment towards your mother. You need to forgive. When you pray, stop asking for things. Be still and know God. Like the Bible says. Kanye's used to everybody kissing his ass. That's what I said when we watched the last clip. I said nobody has the balls to talk to Kanye the way Jesse does. Jesse even laughs when he says his name's Ye. He's like, what? Why do you keep changing your name, dude? And then Jesse keeps calling him Kanye, and he's like, it's Ye, it's Ye. And Jesse doesn't care. He keeps calling him Kanye. Nobody else is going to say, dude, Kanye loves his mama. Kanye is the stereotypical black man who loves his mama. And God forbid you say anything about his mama. He made an album named after his did he make two albums? Donda 1 and Donda 2? Made two albums about his mama. And Jesse says, you have anger because of your mother. You need to forgive your mother. Nobody's got the balls to say that to Kanye.
Then we're talking about the amount of time that it takes the Earth to do a full orbit around the sun, and just looking for.
See, this is why he was talking about the sun earlier.
Facts.
Okay, so pause it here.
And that's like.
So Kanye makes another intelligent observation here.
Right? Oh, super intelligent.
I'm just talking about this with my wife. What's he start with? The history of the church. So he says the history of Christianity. That led to astrology. This is very common where people will start.
Yeah, I'm sure Kanye and Bianca Censori were having a very high intelligence conversation. It was a very intellectual conversation with the lady who walks around naked at award shows. What?
Talking
like, I don't even know where this is coming from. Well, I do know where it's coming from, actually. It's because Andrew is full on Orthodox now. And he used to say, Jesse's a cool guy. I like Jesse. But now, Jesse denies the Trinity. Jesse doesn't believe in free will. Oh, well. Jesse's this bad guy now. What the heck is Andrew talking? I don't know. This threw me for a loop, and I really saw, because I've noticed that he has changed. I still think he's one of the best debaters there is, but intellectualism is taking over. Exactly. Well, yeah.
Talking about the history of religion, they'll talk about its roots, how there's some of it which is based in astrology, or some of it's based in occultism, depending on the religion that you're talking about. He says we're discussing how long it takes for the sun to get around the earth. These are all facts, and I want to see if I can reconcile these facts into my faith. This is so common for people to have those types of questions. You know what I mean? To try to reconcile their worldview with their faith. It's not you saying something as vague as "Do you know God?" Right? Totally meaningless when you're trying to answer and reconcile those big questions.
No, that is the big question.
True. Yeah, you ask somebody like me in terms of my development, where I am at with these questions. Do you know God? It's basically a useless question to ask me.
Totally useless. Yeah. What does it mean? You know, and the intelligent.
Probably the best debater at the moment. It depends on what kind of debate style you like. Like sometimes Andrew, the way he debates annoys me. Like it's just rhetoric, and it's basically playing games. Like me and Mosman have talked about this. Sometimes if Andrew's the negative, he won't give a position. I know that it's not, and this is a strategy. It's a tactic, and it can win you a debate. You don't have to give a position as the negative. You just have to attack the positives, the affirmatives position. And I get that. That is a way to win a debate. But is it really a win? You win by not losing? If I do a debate and I'm on the negative, I'm going to attack their position, and then I'm going to tell you my position, and I'm going to become the affirmative. I'm going to affirm the negative. I'm not just gonna, what's the word I'm looking for? Just deny the affirmative. That's not the word I was looking for, but that's a word. Do you know God? That's an easy answer. Well, it's yes or no.
The question if I'm not, or in this case, Kanye doesn't even ask a question back in a good faith way. He's trying to answer, and he gives the best answer. I'm not sure.
Good.
Right. But if Peterson,
that is a good answer,
a different way. Normally when someone says I'm not sure, the other person will reframe the question.
Nope.
So that it's more well understood. You know what I mean? Like, hey.
Yeah. And usually when people do that, that's weak. If Jesse asks a question, Jesse says, do you love white people? And they say, I love all people. Jesse says, no, I said, do you love white people? Well, I love all people. No. Do you love white people? Jesse will just keep asking the question in the same way over and over again. And it's so funny when he'll say it. He'll be like, he'll say, do you love white people? And they're like, what do you mean, do I love white people? And he'll say, do you love white people? He'll just say it slower. Like it was complicated or something. It's not complicated. And there's no underlying psychological mind games that he's playing here. It just seems that way because people are so caught up in their thoughts. Facts, he lost the Destiny debate, you know it. It's similar to how he always asks, what is a man? Yeah, what is a man? And then Daily Wire stole that and they feminized it and they turned it into what is a woman. Jesse's been asking people what is a man for 30 years.
Hey, Andrew, want some? And I say, I'm not sure. And you say, well, some of these potato chips. Oh, yeah, I want some of those, right? There's now clarification on the thing you were asking, and now I can make up my mind. But why does Peterson go back to the same question?
Yeah, but if I'm holding a bowl of potato chips and I'm reaching it out to you and I say, do you want some? And you say, what do you mean? I'm going to say, do you want some?
question, never diverting or offering any clarity. It's a trick. That's trickery.
It's not a trick.
And 24 hours ago to like this series of questioning right now, which is, it's interesting to me, like how aligned that series of questions
because you want
and I don't know why Andrew seems to be getting so like vitriolic about this.
And that's why you're asking those questions. So let me ask, do you want to know him?
Yes.
And how about, what's your name?
Alexander.
Alexander, okay.
And this is how I know it's an Orthodox versus Protestant thing, because you can see Andrew is getting like, I'm not gonna attribute anger to him because I don't know what he's feeling. I'm not a woman. I'm not gonna analyze his emotions, but just the way he's speaking compared to how he was speaking to Jesse 3 years ago, and what he's gonna say here in a minute, it comes down to it's an Orthodox versus Protestant thing.
If you want to know God,
yes,
you got to give up all ideas about God. Everything that you've learned about him, everything that you've heard about him, every belief that you have about him, you got to let it go.
Yeah, so stop
and
there.
Then you should know him.
So this is what Peterson says here is a dazzling amount of meaningless
bullshit.
But it sounds profound, doesn't it? In order to know God, you have to give up everything you know about his nature, everything that you know about him from the Bible, everything that you've ever heard about how God corresponds with people in their life. And then, and only then, like some old kung fu thing, right? In the one place you haven't looked, that is where you will find the glow, right? Grasshopper. That one place you haven't looked. And when you look there, finally you can snatch the stone from my hand. It's a bunch of blithering nonsense.
Yeah.
Because this, all you have are beliefs, and
I think Jake has been on the what's it called show? The what's the show, Bibby? The Punchy show. Jake has been on Punchy, and Jake is hearing what Jesse says. And I think Jake, Jake is hearing it and he's like, huh, that's interesting, huh? But Andrew says, no, it's just blithering bullshit. And Jake is like, yeah, it's blithering bullshit. Yep. Uh-huh. Yup. Uh-huh. Come on, man.
Knowledge about him, and you're never going to find God with belief and knowledge. You got to let all that go.
How do we find him, Jesse? How do we find him? We got to let go of all belief.
You don't. He finds you.
In God and knowledge in God. And only then will we be able to actually find. What does that mean?
Full factory reset.
It means nothing. It's complete meaningless tripe. Unlearn what you, he's like Yoda, unlearn what you have learned, right? You must unlearn what you have learned, and only then will the light side available to you be. It's just the biggest crock ever, dude.
You know him. To everybody, you gotta let everything you know about, have heard about God, cause it's just knowledge.
But okay, let me try and
see.
Pose you
Jake wants to push back, but
Jesse
he's not gonna.
Is talking about, like I said before, like tongue-in-cheek, but a full factory reset. So he's basically saying like all of the worldly things that we've learned, all of the knowledge and everything, these are all things that are of the world. But if you go back to your basics, to your core, to your essence, then that's where you might find God, when you strip yourself of all of the external feelings and emotions. And
I hate this stupid ball.
Sensory inputs from the world.
Yeah, but that's not. Listen. This idea that there's a unilateral way in which to find your way to Christianity.
He didn't say it was a unilateral way.
And true evangelicals know this. They know that people find God at rock bottom or at the highest.
Andrew's right about what he says here, but Jesse didn't say any of this.
Points in their life. They know that they find God When a tragedy happens, they also know that people will sometimes find God through just pure logic and reason. They know that sometimes people will find, there's any number of different ways that people find their way to Christianity. I would agree that almost everybody at the end gets on their knees in front of the cross. That's true, right? And I tell people all the time when they're on the path, you're going to end up in the
almost
same place
everybody
that you
at the
started,
end gets on their knees in
looking
front
for
of the
this,
cross.
except you're finally going to find it.
What does that mean?
The thing is, though, is that there's no wrong way to eat a Reese's here.
I would agree that almost everybody at the end gets on their knees in front of the cross. What does that mean? Only few find the straight and narrow path. The wide road, many find the wide road, which is not coming on your knees in front of the cross. Only few find that. So what does he mean? Does he mean after we die, everybody will get on their knees and bow? If that's what he means, then I agree. Yeah, once you die, you're definitely going to get down on your knees because you're going to be like, oh, I was wrong. But by the end of their life, no. When did this guy...
People come to this all sorts of different ways. The idea that there's a single unilateral way in which people find their way to Christianity and the true church of Jesus Christ, which is Orthodoxy, the true Christian church. There's so many ways people get there. In fact, a lot of them get there by becoming Protestants first, right? So are we to propose then that the right way to find Orthodoxy is by becoming a Protestant, and then only after years of that will you find the right church? Or could we say that you could be raised in an environment which was conducive to that? Or could we say that you have life strife that puts you on a path to want to research this? There is not a single wrong way to come to Christianity and Christian ethics.
He's right about that.
Said this best was
but
Jesus
Jesse
Christ.
never claimed that.
What did he say?
He said that Australia is faking.
This part's so funny. So Andrew just made a claim there, but he doesn't know how to back up his claim. So he diverts to a joke. Listen to that again. So he said, there's many different ways to come to Christ. And the one person who said that is Jesus himself. And Jake says, what did Jesus say? Andrew doesn't know what Jesus said because he just made that up. And Andrew, and you know, there's nothing wrong if you're not a Bible thumper and you don't read the Bible every day. Some people will say you got to read the Bible every day. I don't think you need to be in the Word every day. The Word, get in the Word every day. I don't think so. I do. I like the Bible. It's my favorite book. It's my favorite thing to study all my life. But I understand not everybody's a Bible thumper. A lot of people they could read the Bible and not get anything from it. And I understand that. And Andrew's one of those guys. He's not a big Bible guy. And that's fine. But don't make a claim if you can't back up what you just said. And then when Jake asks you, what do you mean? You make a joke because you don't know. Just say, oh man, I just said something that I don't know. Listen to that again. That's so funny.
Christianity and Christian ethics, and you know who said this best was Jesus Christ.
What did he say?
He said that Australia is faking.
I knew it, dude. I knew that's where it comes from.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't know what Jesus said. Because Jesus didn't say that. Jesus said the only way to the Father is through me. One way, a unilateral way. The only way to the Father is through me. Jesus didn't say there's a million ways to get to the Father. So Andrew was just making something up. And then when Jake said, well, what if Jesus said it? Well, what did Jesus say? Australia is faking gay.
All of Jesus's apostles actually dive into this. All of them. That when you're talking,
give me an example.
Talking about the various ways, right, in which you find, like,
there is one way to
think about Paul. Paul's dealing with pagans, right? Other apostles are dealing with other people groups, and when they're evangelizing them, they have to use all sorts of different ways in which to do that. You know what I mean? All sorts of, because these people are all in different stages of life, and they're all...
Yes, this is true. you become everything to every person so that you can talk to people and evangelize to them in the way that they need to hear it. Some people need the fire and brimstone. You're going to go to hell if you don't change your ways. Some people need kindness and lovingness. Some people need logic and reason. They need intellectualism. They need big words. He's right about that. But it's all to point them to the same way, to the same cross, to Christ. The only way to the Father is through the Son. That's what Jesus said.
They all have different traditions, cultural values. You couldn't just go to them with the universal of like, well, just unlearn everything you ever thought about pagan gods. It's like, no, that doesn't work. They have to reconcile these former beliefs with the new ones.
About God is not knowing God. Reading and hearing about God is not knowing God. You got to give up all knowing. God is not in belief. He's not in thoughts. And he's not in your emotions.
That's true.
Let all that go.
So why?
And then you shall know him.
So why can't
my children shall know me by my voice? Not.
And it's a voiceless voice of revelation. It's not God talking in your ear. But why can't, when Jesse says something that is on point, Andrew doesn't say, you know, I agree with him there, because he won't. Because Jesse's a Protestant that doesn't believe in the Trinity and doesn't believe in free will.
By belief, not by knowledge, not by thoughts.
Oh, really? So do you know it's his voice? Do you know it's his voice then? Because
that was clever.
That sounds like knowledge to me. Doesn't that sound an awful lot like knowledge? Oh, my children will know me by my voice. Do I have knowledge of this voice then? Yes, you do. Well, then that's knowledge. It's like, it's such a... These people are... and you know what this is? All of this, and it's so frustrating to me again, because all of it is what I consider con artist doublespeak. It's this, the idea is just to kind of...
So are you calling him a grifter? Andrew's calling JLP a grifter? Huh.
Move you into an unfalsifiable position. And then say, well, you see other people who do this, that's how they find Christ. So you see, you can't falsify that this actually works. And it's like, well, but that misses the point, right? It's the point altogether. You don't have to unlearn everything that you've learned in order to come to Christianity, come to Christian ethics, and come to, you just don't have to do that. It's just absurd.
Or emotion. What do you think about that, Alexander?
That sounds correct to me.
What do you think about that, Yee?
Yee.
I mean, yay. Yay. What do you think about that?
He's making fun of his name.
Sounds correct also.
Okay. You got to let it go. Do the silent prayer. Both of you start doing the silent prayer. Give it. Oh, you gave it to him?
Listen to this.
Prayer. You know how when you've been praying all...
Now, this is what Andrew and Jesse were talking about 3 years ago, and Andrew agreed. Not the prayer thing, but the materialism thing. Jesse's going to hit on it. And then Andrew's not going to be like, yeah, well, you know, me and Jesse talked about this years ago, about how Christian has become materialism and people just pray for what they want and how that's wrong. And Andrew doesn't say, yeah, we agree on this. No. Watch what he does.
All this time you've been praying to God, oh, Lord, help me. And I'm just going to help my mama, bless my dad. And you've been doing that. And I want this and I want that. And you've been praying to the devil. But that's why you don't have peace, because you've been praying to the devil. God said to be still and know me. And so when you pray, you're supposed to go in, will it in your room or whatever, but go inside and become aware of the not you.
What Jesse just said is in the Bible. It's go into your prayer closet, be still and know God. It's in another verse, don't pray with words and vain repetitions as the heathens do. So when Jesse talks about the silent prayer, now, if you listen to his video, it does sound like guided meditation. It sounds like mindfulness meditation. But people would be like, well, that's Eastern mysticism. Mindfulness meditation, being still, putting all your devices away, sounds like mindfulness meditation. It sounds like Eastern meditation. The Bible is an Eastern religion. Christianity started in the East. It didn't start in Europe. It didn't start in America. It started in the East. Go into your prayer closet, be still, and know that I am God. The voiceless voice of revelation. Everything Jesse's saying is straight from the Bible. He puts his own twist on it. He paraphrases it so people don't hear it. Because if you don't say, this is chapter and verse, and quote it directly, people don't know unless you say it that way. I see it all the time. I'll say something in my own words that's directly from the Bible. And they'll be like, that doesn't make any sense. But then when I say, oh, well, that's Romans 13:5, and then I quote it directly, then they're like, oh, that would make sense now. Now it makes sense. Why? Because I added a chapter and a verse to the beginning of it?
You're not your thoughts. You're not your feeling. You're not your body.
Guided meditation. So now we're moving into guided meditation.
Exactly, Matthew. Exactly. And now he says it's guided meditation. He says in the beginning of the silent prayer video, he says, you don't have to keep listening to this. He says, just listen to it once. And all it is sit there and breathe and watch your thoughts like you're watching a movie and just breathe. That's silent prayer. That's also meditation. And it's almost, I saw a thing the other day. It was some professor talking, and he said the one thing that all successful men, all rich and powerful men have in common is they all take time to be still and sit silently and to clear their mind. Or you don't even try to clear your mind. You just sit and observe your thoughts, and you realize that you don't have control over them. That's meditation or prayer. So when Shiva says he does meditation and it's helped him, I say, well, I do the same thing. I just don't call it meditation. I call it prayer. And it works, and it leads to put away all the devices, put away all the music, put away all the noise, go into your prayer closet, which means a quiet space. Now, some like C-Salad said that she actually has like a prayer closet where it's an area where there's candles and there's saints and there's all these icons and stuff. If that's what works for you, that's fine. But to me, it's just a quiet place. It's a quiet place where you're separated from, you can sit silently. My favorite place to do it is in the mountains. And Jesus went up into the mountain. Moses went up into the mountain. When I go up into the mountains and I sit looking out sit at the top of a mountain in the woods and just look out over everything, it's the best silent prayer you could ever do. Happy JLP White History Month. July just feels white. It's a reset back to the source or whatever to peel away the worldly. Exactly.
Meditation and nonsense. Guided meditation. So now we're moving into guided meditation and nonsense.
Doesn't it?
Instead of guided liturgical advice, guided liturgical viewpoints from.
He's talking about prayer, Andrew. Do you do guided liturgical prayer? Can you not pray in your prayer closet? Can you not go into your prayer closet and be still and know God? I'd venture to say, well, I won't say that because I don't know that. I'll say what I was thinking. I was going to say, Andrew's probably never done that. But I don't know that. Maybe he has. But it is a good habit to have, to go somewhere silent, be still, know God. Just breathe. Watch your thoughts. Don't try to control your thoughts. Don't try to not think about anything. Don't try to clear your mind. You just be still and know God.
Church fathers, from people who are trained.
But now Andrew's talking about guided liturgical advice and conversation. We were talking about prayer. How do you pray?
In this liturgical document called the Bible, to assist you in your guidance.
Yeah, what Jesse said is from the Bible. Nowhere in the Bible does it say go to your your priest or your bishop or your chaplain to help you pray. It doesn't say that in the Bible. What it does say is go into your prayer closet, be still and know that I am God, and don't pray with words and vain repetitions. That's what it says in the Bible, Andrew.
Towards your spiritual health. Instead, we're going to move into guided meditation and stillness in the dark. And there, in the one place we haven't looked again, Grasshopper, will you find the strength to take the pebble from my hand. It's so annoying, dude.
Anyway, and if people get mad about anything I just said, I don't really care. Get mad, you know. I still love Andrew. I still think he's one of the best debaters on the internet. He's still one of my favorite content creators. But I think Jesse's a little bit better. I think Jesse's just a little bit better. Anyway, I just thought the contrast between Andrew 3 years ago talking to Jesse and him commenting on that just now, man, he's changed. You know who hasn't changed? Jesse hasn't changed. Nope, not even a little. Well, you know, that's like your opinion, man. Agreed, JLP is the GOAT. Yeah, I mean, they're close. They're close. Maybe, and Jesse's kind of, he's getting old. You know, he's gonna fall off eventually, literally and content-wise. You know, he can't go forever. JLP is the GOAT indeed. Yeah. But Andrew is rising while JLP is on a down. He's not on a downfall, but he's just getting old. And he can't keep it up forever. And I don't know who's going to take up his mantle. Like, Hake is great. Nick is cool. But who's going to take up JLP's, like, who's going to do what JLP does as good as JLP did it? I don't know if anybody can. Andrew is a totally different breed, different strategy, different way of doing things. So it's two different worlds. It's like, why? Where's all the? I don't want to say hate because I don't know that. You know, I don't know that there's hate there. It just the change is interesting. Oh, here we go. As soon as I click on it, Joey Swole ended his career. I don't know how to find the shorts and stuff, so we'll watch Brandon Tatum's video talking about it.
Let's talk about Joey Swole, because not only is he supporting racists, he's talking like one.
If you're going to attack me, you better go after the colored athletes and the people that are black and minority that went and posted him as well.
For you to be so silly.
Hold on, I got it on there. I like Brandon Tatum. He's all right. He's all right, you know.
That he said colored athletes instead of athletes of color.
But the problem is, the problem is when you apologize.
This video is brought to you by
TatumStore.com.
TatumStore.com. Make sure you get your merch. Link is in the description section. I know y'all love this hat. That's why I wore it. So get you a hat today. TatumStore.com. Like and subscribe to the channel. Y'all already know what to do. Let's get into this. You guys have seen me go on and on and on in these past couple days about Israel and having to stand on truth on many other aspects. And it does not change when it comes to Hulk Hogan and Joey Swole, who I'm going to talk about today. Now, this young man, and I don't know if you know him, if you see a picture of him, put the other clip up there without playing it, but this is the clip where everybody probably know who he is, right? He always is in the car. The dude got a noticeable look. He's a bodybuilder type guy, and he literally uses his platform to call out foolery at the gym.
First, let's give a shout out to all the looky-loos. And just for the record, guys, there's nothing worse than a creeper.
You can watch the full videos on her story, but she says that that man is sitting behind her just so he can stare at her and do his half reps. First off, those aren't half reps. Those are good full reps. Every time
what
you
the
bend
fuck?
over to show him staring at you, he's either watching himself work out in the mirror or he's not looking at you
I
at
hate
all.
this part.
I mean, I started following him because the stuff that he was calling out was so
I
crazy
hate this
and
part
bizarre.
of the game. It's so
I mean,
stupid.
literally women working out in front of the mirror and somebody walk in front of them to get a weight because they're at a public
We got to
gym,
do that whole
and
crap
they flip
again.
out on them and make Instagram videos. And so Joey Swole seems to be, in my opinion, always standing up for truth, always doing the right thing in good faith. That's all I know this man to be. Now, I guess, and this is how I saw this video, was I was on TikTok and I was scrolling through and he was apologizing for something, which is the video that we see right here, or at least the video that you were watching. He was apologizing. And so I watched the video and he apologized for saying a word that only one group of people get mad when you say a word. So I say he must have said something that hurt black people's feelings.
Yep.
And he getting canceled over it. And I said to myself, I said I could.
Did he say the N-word?
It wasn't that big of a deal. I put my life on it, it's not a big deal. Then he got canceled over Hulk Hogan, which I had no idea why he would get canceled and had to apologize about dressing up as Hulk Hogan and him posting it on saying RIP to Hulk Hogan. He obviously dressed up on, I think, Halloween, but he posted this to show honor and respect to Hulk Hogan. So I gotta address these
He says
things.
Hulk Hogan weird.
First of all,
Hulk Hogan.
I don't think Joey Swole
Hulk Hogan
is a racist. And I don't even think what he said was racist. And let's play what he said real quick, and then we'll get to Hulk Hogan.
Hulk
Let's
Hogan.
put Joey Swole on here in the context of what he said. If you can fast forward to the part where he said the colored thing, and we get to that part, then we can play it. Roll it.
Listen, I can post Hulk Hogan if I want to. Just because somebody makes a mistake in their life doesn't mean that they haven't done good things.
That's not a
I
mistake.
don't know what he did, and he said something 20 years ago and apologized for it. If you're going to attack me, you better go after the colored athletes and the people that are black and minority that posted him as well. Okay, the man was nice to me. He made a mistake. I'm not God. People make mistakes in life. If you got a problem with that, look at yourself. There's not one single person in here that hasn't made a mistake in their life.
So, as you can imagine, they go, colored? Let me tell you how stupid this is. Now, when I heard him say it, I
can't believe he said colored.
To be honest, if I was just listening to it, I wouldn't even caught what he said. But since there was a controversy, now I realize what he said. Do you know how stupid you have to be offended at a guy who has never done anything racist that I have ever seen on any of his platforms ever? He has advocated and been supportive of black people just as well as white people. To see him, for you to be so silly that he said colored athletes instead of athletes of color. Y'all stupid in them, man. I'm not trying to be, but like really, like that really offended you? You really got offended because you heard a white dude say colored athletes instead of athletes of color. What is the difference? Color is still in the word. And because it's something that's outdated or antiquated or you think that's offensive, when y'all mother call each other the N-word every day, y'all don't have no problem with Mexicans saying the N-word, black people saying the N-word, your favorite artists say the N-word. Y'all say the N-word every day, and you white folks that's acting like y'all hurt by this, y'all listen to your friends say the N-word, and you know you feel uncomfortable when they say it, but you let them say it anyway, and you offended by colored athletes instead of athletes of color. That, to me, is just he misspoke. That man, and then he had to come and apologize.
He didn't
which
even
I feel like he never
misspeak.
should have. But
there's nothing wrong with what he
it's
said.
like to be a white man and can speak the English language, because there is no difference. And if you translated colored person or person of color in another language, there would be no difference. A person would think you would be.
He's from Arizona. That's how they say Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan in Arizona.
Help me drive it away, and I'll let the fan do its work.
Hey, Fox. How can you be sure it's even real?
Rest assured, Mother taught me this spell. Only the real fan will.
I already have the fan.
The bull sounds weak. Probably on his last legs. Guess I have to trust you once. I'll get down there and stop the ball and let you.
How are you gonna stop that ball? I can't stop that ball. There's one transformation in the whole game. I seen a short where somebody was trying to stop that ball, and there's one transformation that can stop it. All right, we don't need a cutscene. We've seen this already. All right, Red Boy and Yaksha King. I probably have enough time to beat these two guys.
Skin will protect him.
Now we could actually go. We could backtrack now and go find the bull, but we might as well beat Red Boy and Yaksha King while we're here.
Speaking semantics, for you to act like there's a difference. And then the funny thing is that it doesn't affect your life whatsoever with somebody saying that. He didn't say the N-word, bro. If he said N with the hard R, then I can see people saying, bro, oh, wait a minute, bro. That's kind of obviously a term that is going to conjure up a problem. Now, I don't think you should cancel him, and he can say whatever you want to say. It's America. But I think that the backlash, I'd say, okay, that makes sense. But colored athletes versus athletes of color, what is he supposed to say?
Do I want to
now,
go do this?
How do you say athletes that are not white without saying black, Hispanic, Native, Indian? He said persons of colored athletes of color. Now let's listen to his apology. And I just, if I was his PR person, I'd say, bro, no, let me say this. I don't like that he had to apologize, but I do believe that there's nothing wrong with him apologizing. Let me just say it like that. Let me not be
there is something.
Because he did articulate that he didn't mean nothing by it. And there's nothing wrong with saying, I'm sorry that people were offended by what I said.
Well, yeah, but that's...
I don't think there's a problem when somebody do that.
Is that really an apology, though, if you say, I'm sorry you were offended? Why would you even say that? There's no point in saying, I'm sorry you were offended. I would just say, keep crying. I'd double down and be like, colored people. I would double down on it.
You cannot be wrong, but apologize for offending people if that's what you feel like you've done. Because if I got on here and called somebody a hamburger heifer and some women were legitimately offended, or I said the N-word and people are legitimately offended, like, Brandon, I'm offended that you cussed or you did it on the platform. Like, it's okay to say, well, I didn't really mean it that way. So let me call and say, I'm sorry if it offended you. Boy? Here's what I meant. I'm not a person or whatever. I don't hate women or whatever the case would be. I think it's fine. So let's listen to his apology. Then we're going to get to the Hulk Hogan side of it, because he also apologized for dressing up or showing him being dressed up as Hulk Hogan the day Hulk Hogan died. Roll the clip.
I owe my followers, my community, and all of social media an apology. A few days ago, I reposted an old video of me in the gym wearing a Hulk Hogan.
I forgot he said all of that. You really only owe people who you care about an apology. You don't not owe all of social media.
Are you not thinking?
Because people with a connected, rational brainstem were not offended. Roll the clip.
Halloween costume on the day that he passed. Last night in my live stream, a lot of people expressed how upset and frustrated they were with me that I had posted that. Instead of listening and understanding like
Can we one-shot
I became defensive
Red Boy?
and said,
let's one-shot Red Boy.
Posting to celebrate the wrestling icon,
not one
the
shot,
person that so many of us looked up to as kids that we grew up with, that made us tear our shirts and take our vitamins and say our prayers. I didn't know to the extent of all the horrible things that he had done. Since last night, I have done a lot of research, talked to a few people, and learned all of the horrible, horrible things that man has done, which is way more than just making a mistake and being human. So because of that, I have taken the videos down, and I apologize to anybody that I offended. I am sorry. Also, during last night's live stream, I used the word colored instead of saying person of color, which is a very outdated, very offensive term. A few moments later, somebody educated me and told me that it wasn't okay to use that, which I immediately apologized to.
It is okay to use that.
I would never do that again.
No,
so
this
once
is
again,
why
to anybody that I offended, I am sorry. You know, my whole page, my whole brand is based on holding people accountable.
I think I heard enough. Now, I listened to this yesterday, and like after watching it again, I'm like, I don't know if I even like that. I don't know if I like that. You would never
I'm gonna die.
Hear me apologize. like for something like that. Like, because I thought about it before I posted it, and if I posted it, it's because I believed in it. And I'm not finna change because
like a
y'all
mug,
get offended by stuff. Hulk Hogan. Let's go to Hulk Hogan real quick. Now, I don't know Hulk Hogan to be a bad person because all I know of Hulk Hogan was Hulk Hogan when he was wrestling. Was
addicted to opioids 5 years ago.
Gave up
we got something in common.
When he wasn't wrestling.
We're also both swole.
He wasn't Hulk Hogan. So I only liked Hulk Hogan as the wrestler, as the persona. And I thought he was great. I love Hulk Hogan to this day. I still think Hulk Hogan's a legend.
Hulk Hogan.
Now, I guess I had to Google this because he said some racial slurs and mentioned that he didn't want his daughter dating a black guy. And then, of course, he cheated on his wife with his daughter's friend or something like that. Which, at the end of the day, he's still a human. And I don't think a person should be, you know, their whole life should be destroyed and everything they did great should be all taken away because they said a word, had an opinion, and cheated on somebody. I'm not an advocate of cheating, but, bruh, do you know how many people we couldn't support? Even in the Bible, if you talk about cheating on somebody. I mean, King David was a he was a rolling stone for a minute.
I wouldn't
there,
go that far.
Getting people killed so he go sleep with Bathsheba. I mean, you can't get no worse than that guy. Person
that was only
so
once.
Smash his wife. You can't even like him. You can't like Noah. You can't like. I could probably go down the list if I do a little more research. Probably 5 other men in the Bible you can't like no more because they didn't cheated or did something weird with some women. So I don't want to hear that, bro. Hulk Hogan, in my personal opinion, is the Hulk Hogan that I knew growing up as a kid before I realized wrestling was fake. And I thought he was great for the sport. He made it to the Hall of Fame. I guess they took his Hall of Fame and they gave it back to him once he apologized. But for y'all to still be offended because this man said some racial stuff at some point, when y'all dirty be saying stuff behind closed doors, and if it ever came to light, you be in trouble too. The most people that offended are the people that say racist stuff themselves. I put my life on it. Roll the clip.
So there's a point where I was my son was hanging out and there on Twitter because I was walking that I'm not a double standard. I'm racist to a point. Yeah. You know, when it comes to punch people, you know, can't say.
All right, I think that's all the clip. Now, you know, this is the thing. This is how I feel, man. People need to stop having a double standard when it comes to outrage. A person is entitled to not like people and not like their daughter being with certain people. And the man did it, I don't know how many years ago, and he come out and apologize about it. Let it go. There's plenty of time.
Did you get to the last stage, the last staff yet? I figured out what it is. The same guy that I get the things I need to make the last piece of armor I need gives me the items that I need to make the last staff that I need. So he's in this chapter. He's the secret boss of this chapter. We could go find him now, but I'm not going to have enough time probably. So we're going to kill these guys, which is going to... I think after we kill Yaksha King, it's going to put us to chapter 6, but we can go back, go to the secret area of chapter 5. We have to find all the carts. I don't remember where they are. I've done 3. Maybe 4. I don't know. We have to take out the 5 carts, and then we go to the secret area of chapter 5, and we fight the bull. When we fight the bull, we'll get the staff and the armor, and then all we have left is 1 brew, I think. Yaksha King. hate that attack. It's such big AoE. Hurry, hurry, hurry. Ah, we froze him in the air, but it's okay. I can hit him. That attack is hard to dodge. All right, we get it. We get it. I don't gotta watch this. I have full focus. You about to get tornadoed up, my boy. Deal with this. Have fun. You're about to get fucked up. Where'd he go? First try on Yaksha King. Easy.
Still holding on.
When I was growing up, if I had not gotten saved and somebody recorded me when I was younger, I said, I ain't never bringing a white girl home. Y'all ain't never gonna see me dating a white girl. And we would make fun of black dudes that dated white women. You would sell out Uncle Tom. Now, I'm grown now, and I realized, and I got saved and everything, and that I was racist. That was stupid.
That's not racist. You married a black girl. You still wouldn't date a white girl. Nothing's changed.
And I don't hold myself to the same standards. I don't think people should be like, well, Brandon used to be like this, and he got to be that same person for the rest of his life.
Would you date a white girl
man,
today? No.
Lord. Now, certain stuff you do, there's consequences that are residual. But if you feel a certain way and you change the way you feel, there's nothing wrong with people saying, yeah, I understand. People are ignorant, or people say ignorant things, or people believe certain things that they don't no longer believe. And if every single person that's mad had never changed their beliefs on anything, then you could be mad. But most of y'all still feel some type of way. And does that bother me that Hulk Hogan said that?
Hulk Hogan?
No, it doesn't bother me whatsoever. I don't care. I'm not close to Hulk Hogan. And the funny thing is that if that bother me, then I know a whole bunch of other people that only want their daughters and their sons to marry black people. I know a whole bunch of people that only want their sons and their daughters to marry Jewish people. I know a whole bunch of Mexicans that don't want their kids married.
Wait, he married a white woman? Oh, well, then I'm wrong. Never mind. I guess he would date a white girl. He married a white woman? Well, he got smart.
And outside of their own race. I think it's ignorant, but people feel that way. And quit acting like it's so bizarre for people to feel that way. People do. They may not say it. They didn't get caught on a hidden camera, but they believe it. And it's not just white. It's white, it's black, it's you, it's other people. At some point in your life, you had opinion, you felt a certain way. And so that's why I don't feel like Joey Swole should have apologized unless he feel like the man really racist. Don't apologize to people just because you get backlash.
Yeah.
And so that's all I say. We played that apology video, and I wouldn't apologize, man. Look, I said the wrong word. I'm sorry that you were offended, but I'm not. I went and did research, and I talked to other people who informed me that what I said was, nah, bro. I mean, y'all got to stop getting mad over words. I've seen people say the N-word before, and people say the N-word. Let me give y'all an example real quick, and I'm gonna move on so I don't belabor the point. You go to a Travis Scott concert. It's another dude, he was viral. And it was like a little meme where it says when he found out he was really him. That man had 50,000 white people in the crowd saying the N-word, singing to his song. And did you think he got up and got mad? But let a white person be driving in their car on Instagram and sing the same song that you see going viral on TikTok at that same artist's concert. This person would be canceled. But all the people at the concert is making him money, so it's okay.
Stop hitting me. Wow, you can shoot arrows through your boy? We got to get to an altar so we can go back to chapter 5. Really? He just pokes me with a knife? Don't. Why do you get to have all the fun? Let me kill him. Got you both. 2 for 1. 2 for 1 special. All right. Now we rest and we go back to chapter 5. Now I think we have to buy everything from the store. I don't think this is an achievement, but somebody online said it was. So, plus 6 mind cores. Can't go wrong with mine. We need celestial ribbons. We need gold tree cores. We need. Okay, cool. So I think we've bought everything from every shrine and every. Would be the last one. Yeah. Jungle Fever. They a mess. All right, I gotta go soon, so we're just gonna go find the. Am I going the right way? I think so. We're just gonna go find the next shrine in the secret area. Well, I'm not gonna actually get to the secret area. I just know we have to find the bull. The Bishui beast. The Bishui beast. Oh yeah, K2 Truckin' sent a super chat. I don't know if I addressed it. I think I read it. Okay, it should be over here. No, it's up in here. This is where we need to go. There's going to be a secret cut to the left that was behind fire. Now the fire's gone. So we can go up in the cut. Should be right here. Yep. There's too many bosses in this area. I missed him. Okay, we need some backup. We need backup. Damn, we almost one-shot him. That just hit all of them. That was nice. Samadhi fire crystal. I don't really need that now. Where is the nearest shrine? Can you grab that, please? Jeez. Then I think there's another mini boss over here. It's not necessary that we kill it, though. I just need to find a shrine. See that? Oh, nope. One of these, if I touch it, it's going to open up a boss fight, and I don't want to do that right now. I think it's that one over there starts the boss fight. I don't want to do that. I just want to find the shrine. The shrine is outside of the... Sit down, bitch. Oh. You have invincibility frames when you're opening something. Stop it. Get some help. Those guys are the best to farm mine cores, by the way. There it is. Okay. There's is the shrine. And then I think there's a cart over here. You have to break the 5 carts. I just want to go check if it's over here. I think there's a cart over here. Yeah, I gotta go. I think there's the last cart is over here. No, it's not. Okay, so there's 2 more. I'm gonna have to pull up a guide tomorrow because I don't want to look for them forever. I've already found them before. But basically, we need to open this. The way you open this is by doing the 5 carts. We've done 3. We found 3 of the carts, but we've only fought 2. The one is broken. It has the horse in it. And we just need to do the other 2 carts. And then that will open. We go in there. There's 3 bosses in there, I think. It's a small area. It's just it's 3 boss fights almost back to back to back. The wheel is in there, the top half and bottom half fight, and then the big like dragon guy is the guy we need to kill. Once we kill him, we can make the staff and we can make the armor. And then all we have left is 1 brew. We have a brew we have to figure out how to get. And then we're done. Well, then we're done with all the achievements. I don't consider it done till we reach level 342. We're at level 185. So, but I know a place where we can grind experience. So we'll just grind out experience and money. We need to make We need to make this armor piece. So we need 2 of the Bull King's iron horns for this. And then we need to make a staff. It's not showing that I can make it. I think I need to beat that guy again before I can make it. Once I beat him on New Game Plus, one of these boxes will open up. The other boxes are for doing gauntlet challenges. There's 3 secret staffs that you get through doing gauntlet challenges, and they're really powerful, but they're not part of the achievements because they were added later to the game. So eventually we'll grab those because they're really good. But there's one more staff that we can't make until we beat this guy, and he'll give us 4 Bull King's iron horns. 2 are for the staff and 2 are for the chest piece. And then we'll have all the weapons, all the armor. And then all we have left is 1 brew. But these challenges, the Gauntlet of Legends, there's 3 gauntlets that if you make it through, you get a secret weapon. But anyway, I gotta go, guys. I gotta walk Echo and go to work. Thank you guys for hanging out. If anybody didn't like what I had to say, too bad. I said what I said. All right. Let me see. All right, let me find dude, I'm like Joey Swole. I used to be on opioids and now I'm swolled up, baby. I'm like Joey Swole. Let me see, where can I send you? Addicted to Fishing. Rattlesnake TV. Machine Lies. JLR Investigates. Yeah, man, so I can't read that yet. Ultimate Zionism debate. Oh, he's watching that debate with Gavin and Nick and Elijah. That's funny. I watched that like a year ago, and then I watched it again the other night. And Jake is reviewing it. Bro, you're huge. You're huge, bro. I am pretty huge. All right. I'll send you to Rattlesnake. Since we were talking about him. Yeah, man, so swole. All right, see you guys later. God bless. Have a good night. Peace.